Hello gamers, it's SoftKitty99 in Parkitect, and we're in the campaign. In the last episode we did highway hijinks, so today I'd like to take you on a tour of the theme park that I built for the scenario Honey Hills. A small mountain resort is looking to expand its business while retaining its alpine charm. Starting with the initial investment of a flying coaster as a flagship attraction, developed this hillside forest into a thriving roller coaster paradise. Scenario: have at least 400 guests in your park, have no loan debts, have an operating profit of at least $2,000. That's the more difficult one there, the operating profit. Have an overall park rating of at least 75%. And your optional goals to get the gold medal, which I managed to do, yay! Have at least 200 guests in your park, which you need to do to get the 400, and that then gives you some money, I think it did, to improve your park. And then the other optional is to complete all non-optional goals by the end of December year 2. So complete all the goals before December of year 2, and I did manage to do that one, so I'm really proud of myself. So let's take a look at the theme park that I built for the scenario. There we go. Just didn't click it in the right place, so it disconnected it again. Shame. So let's show you the Honey Hills theme park. So here we are. Let's zoom out a little bit for you to be able to see a little bit more of the park itself, and then we'll take a closer look and a little tour for you. So if you remember what it said about the park, it said it starts with a flagship coaster. So this building here is the station building that the game comes with, and this is the flagship coaster. Oh, it's going to rain on us. This one that comes around here, this one that we're watching right there, this is the flagship coaster that the park comes with. So it comes with, it goes all the way out there and all the way back in over here, and comes with that building and with these strange paths around the side here. It also comes with a depot right at the very back of the park, and the front of the park is all the way over here, and this is where the guests come in. So you need to run your amenities from the back of the park, and there's this really long path from the front to the back of the park where your flagship roller coaster is. So you have to break up this path by putting rides along the path and making sure that you use your depot, and you're going to have to run the underground pipes all the way to the front of your park in order to be able to put some shops in order to keep the guests happy. So it is a little bit of a tricky one, a little bit awkward to deal with, but you do start with quite a bit of money, so make sure that you try and put the piping in quite quickly. So that you can add some of these shops very quickly into your park. Well, that's better now that it's stopped raining. That should help us a little bit. So let's turn around and start at the front of the park. So this is where your guests come in, and this is the little building entrance to come into that the park begins with. So what I did was I've dropped an attraction right at the entrance, so I popped in the Ferris wheel, and it can look out over these beautiful trees around here. Let's just add a few trees, and then at the side of it here I've added a shop area. So if we hide the scenery, zoom in just a little bit, I've run a pipe all the way from the back of the park at the goods in depot all the way to the front, so that we can put in a depot for the goods to be sent by a pipe right to the front, so we can add some food shops right at the front. Everything's out of stock. Where are my men to do my hauling? You should be hauling, guys. Where have you gone? They're probably all in the staff room hiding, aren't they? So we've also popped in a rubbish chute as well, because if you don't put in a rubbish chute, then the janitors are going to have to walk the whole length of the park in order to drop the rubbish off. There's a hauler, look. Yes, thank you. About time you came and did your job, my friend. Which one are you going to? That's good. See, he's doing his job now. Good man. So I've got a vending machine right at the side here, so he only has to just pop out to restock it, so that the guys don't have to watch crates being carried down the path very far. Then we've got burgers, hot drinks and soft drinks. So soft drinks, hot drinks, burgers and umbrellas, and I think that needs a clean. Let's get a clean stocked up. I've also added a few seats so that they can sit near the shops, and it's going to rain again, so good job we've got the umbrellas in, isn't it? Let's pop the scenery back up. I've also popped in just some simple wooden pavilions, just so that there's a place for the people to hide from the rain. Unfortunately, this place seems to rain quite a lot, so you definitely want to try and get umbrellas and some places to hide from the rain for your guests. I've popped in a cash machine right next to here as well, and I've added a few of the maps around the place so that they can figure out where they want to go. Don't forget to put in your bins and some lighting as well, especially when it rains a lot. It's good to have the lighting in as well. Just added a few bushes around the sides of the path just to make it that little bit prettier, and added lots of trees around because we are in a hilly area, Honey Hills, so let's play into the woodland theme and the mountain idea. And if we come a little bit further away from the entrance, I've got a drop tower. If we zoom out a little bit, you can see the height of this drop tower, and you can now start to see some of the lighting. Look on the rides, that's quite nice actually to see the lighting, and it just goes off again. Right, so we've got a drop tower. Right, so there's the entrance section. We've got our food, places to sit, and our Ferris wheel. The next section, we've got toilets here, look, on this side, and a big drop tower so that everybody can see that. So you've got this landmark iconic height for somebody to see, and we've got a little simple spiral slide. I forgot the name of that for a second there, to keep people happy, and the path goes between these. And I've got another toilet block here, and then we've got a path coming up for a bobsled coaster, an alpine coaster. Now the thing with this area is it's lots and lots of weird slopes, so you're going to have to hand build everything in the park, and you're going to have to try and conform it to your terrain. So if we follow our alpine coaster around, so you can see how it goes. So we go down a big slope, so we're using the space away from where the paths are to try and maximise the amount of space we use in our park, because there's not that much flat ground, and a lot of the ground is very undulating up and down with the hills, so it's quite difficult to find space to build. So if you can build the coasters to follow the terrain away from the paths, then you're using more of the park landscape and being able to fit more in. And the blurb about this particular campaign scenario did ask us to turn it into a coaster paradise, so the alpine coaster in the hills just felt like the best thing to do. As you can see, we've got a few little tunnels. I did think about boxing them in and decorating them up a little bit, but I never actually got round to that before the scenario finished. But I think it's really nice to actually have those little tunnels to add a little bit of something to the game. Oh look, the other guys caught up with them on the lift hills, so the spacing's not quite perfect, but I'm really pleased with what I've got here, because it's quite a difficult park layout to deal with, and the terrain going up and down all the way, you're going to find that to be the most difficult thing, I think, for you to deal with. So here's my little very, very, very simple building. Look, very little boxy wooden structure, and again I've used the wooden pavilions to shield a little bit of the queue line from the rain. Now if we rotate around, you can see this is where the guests exit the station, down this very steep exit. And if we rotate again, also to go up is also very steep. So you've got the entrance here to the drop tower, that goes up in here under this little queue line here, and then the Alpine coaster is much steeper. Look at that. But look how popular that is. That is super popular. Do you know what? I think I might take a screenshot. Whoops. Take a screenshot of the popular queue line with all the umbrellas. I think that might be quite nice actually. So here's the toilet block that we were talking about earlier, and this direction is back to the entrance, as you can see the spiral slide. So if we rotate again by 90 degrees, the path dog legs up here so that it conforms to the terrain and goes up. So we've got quite a few trees here again to capitalise on this idea, and then I've got a split in the path. So if you go straight ahead over here, we've got a log flume. So you go underneath the log flume. See, the path goes under the log flume all the way around. So you've got the exit path here and the entrance path up this steep slope here, so that the right next to the Alpine coaster bobsled, so the path interacts with the bobsled. And then up here again, the little pavilions. This time I've just used a blue topped pavilion for the little station for our log flume. Now can we follow the log flume? There we go, let's follow the log flume. So we come out of our very simple little station, we pass over the path for the queue line, so as the people are coming in for the log flume. So as you can see, I've got this long path coming off the side just to take us behind some other rides, so we can fit in the log flume behind the other rides. There we interact with the carousel. So our main path up into that pre-built coaster has got lots of little rides along the side of it, and then here we've got that dog leg off to the side so that we can fit in this log flume behind all the other rides, so we can maximise our use of space. And then we conform the log flume to the terrain behind here, so we've got it interacting, look, on multiple levels. I'll give you a shot further back so you can see the whole layout after we've followed our riders around on our log flume. So we're going around here, look, lots of curves. Let's follow the thing. You can see underneath, look, it goes into a tunnel, so that we're utilising the terrain quite a bit. So we've got two layers there, we're going above the other one, and then the lower one goes into the tunnel and back out. And just here underneath you can just see that. So we've got lots of interactions, the way it swoops around and it curls over itself, so it interacts a number of times as you go round the log flume. I'm really pleased with it. I think it's worked out really well in this terrain area. It's quite a long log flume actually, so give people their money's worth on their ride. And you can hear the carousel's music. You hear that? I don't know why my haulers are struggling with the burger place. I might need to add some more haulers. They've probably all gone to take a break at the same time. That's probably the problem. And then we go up our lift hill. And another big swoop around before we go back down and have a big splash. Lots and lots of trees, like I said before, to be the decoration for this. Oh, the bumblebee's broken. That's the Bumblebee is the flagship ride, the one that the game gave us when it gave us the park to begin with. Big drop there, and then this time as it swoops around we go into that tunnel that I spoke about going underneath before. Look, it's quite a long ride and a really nice ride. If you were riding that you'd be really happy, wouldn't you? A lot of log flumes are quite short, this one's really long. Now you could have some interactive dark ride scene. No, not interactive. You could have a dark ride scene under there in that big long tunnel, couldn't you? I could imagine that. That would be quite nice. Add a little bit of something a little bit different to your ride, make it stand out from all the others, yeah? And then I think this time we swoop round and come back to the station where we began. And there we are, we come back to the station. So let's zoom out so that you can see the whole layout. So there's the path coming off at the side here, just brings you to the log flume, and here is our log flume. So it goes round here and around here, little splash there into a tunnel, another big loop to our big lift hill, around this loop to the big drop, loops round, goes into your little dark ride section and sweeps back round to the station. So I really think that's a great utilisation of the space, you see, because we've got this drop down section here, so we've gone down with the path and then up and round with the log flume. So I think that's using the space to the best advantage, because it's not a flat area, so it's really difficult to put flat rides in. So if we come back here from that toilet block straight across here to the log flume, if we go in this direction, we've got the jumper over here. Again, to get up onto it, we've got these quite steep paths so that it can land on a little bit of flat space here and then be up on stilts at this side. Got a carousel here. Keep using these simple wooden pavilions to give some shelter from the rain and to go keep in with the theme of the alpine and lots of trees. We've got our gravitron, carousel, jumper and twister here. So we've got 4 flat rides in this little section here. Well, we almost have a flat space. We've got 2 flat and then 2 raised up. Look, we'll just add the queue sections to that. And then the main path keeps going up here, and then we've got a side path down by the side of the gravitron to the side of the lake, so we can use it as a viewpoint over a little bit of a lake here. And this time we've got another coaster. The Blue Surge. I actually didn't build this one. This is one of the pre-builts, the Blue Surge in the game. I managed to find a little almost flat section, look, where that will fit in, and that actually just managed to fit in the space by the side of the bumblebee and the log flume. So the Blue Surge, keep that one in mind, is actually a pre-built, and it fits quite nicely in the little bit of space we've got between the bumblebee and the lake here, so that worked out really well. So if we come back to our little lake, go across the lake, nice place for people to sit. Added quite a few weeping willow trees around that to make it picturesque. It really is quite nice looking over there. And then they've got this bit of a lookout tower. Looks like this is the ranger station lookout tower type of thing. Maybe looking for forest fires and things, perhaps. That's on the outside look of your fence area, so you actually get a big bite taken out of your space to build on. But you can see, look at how steep all of this terrain is. It's really awkward to use the space that you've got. So once you come across this path here, I've got another place for shops. If we hide the scenery again, I've got a depot and a trash chute, and here I've got the staff room in here as well. And again, we've got the same soft drinks, hot drinks, burgers, burgers, that's not out of stock anymore. Burgers, vending machine and umbrellas. So it's the same shops again, and also we try and keep a very simple, just boxy wooden structure. Very simple. I had space for another shop, but we didn't get round to that. Alright, let's rotate around and see how very boring and bland that shop is. I did intend to make it a little bit neater later on, but didn't have the space. Didn't have the money originally to make it any more fancy, and later on I didn't need to because the scenario had finished. And here I've managed to fit in a G-lock. As you can see, there's still no flat terrain to pop things in, but They really do need something. And look at the queues on these things. And again, the wooden pavilions and the really steep queue lines. So you need to be quite fit for this. This park is definitely not suitable for disabled guests, and you'd probably get into trouble because it would be really difficult for disabled people to get in and out, wouldn't it? And then here is the entrance for the Bumblebee, which is the coaster that the game came with. And this is quite a nice little building. Very simple, because all you've got is pillars and cornicing, and then just flat roof sections, but sloped roof sections. But look how they've linked them together, so they made little corners and little triangular shapes on the side, look, which actually makes something that's relatively simple look really cool. And then you've added this second section, look, slightly taller than this section, and then added a little peak on it, so it looks really, really cool. And then this little tower on the side, so it's a really nice little idea for things that you can build. And then the exit from the Bumblebee comes up by the side of the tower to here. So coming from the shops, you just come along here. So that's that building that we came with the scenarios, all this section here. So over here at the side of the Bumblebee, I've extended the queue line a little bit further down, and we've added in a wild mouse. Very, very simple, standard layout for a wild mouse. Totally boring, simple, but it fits in between the space for the Bumblebee and the edge of your park area. And then I've tried to hide the edge of the park area with some trees, and this is out again into the trees. It's another coaster though, so it's something a little bit different. A family friendly coaster there for you on the side there. And then we've just added another toilet block, because it's such a long park, you definitely want to keep adding toilets. A few flowers just to make it a little bit prettier. And then right in front of your goods in depot, I've added another shop area right at the very back of your park. So if you've walked all the way to the back of the park to the two coasters over here, you've got some more shops just in this last little section, and that is all of our park. So if we just zoom down a little bit, again it's the same shops as before. A few seats, mat board, a little bit of lighting, and just hide the scenery so you can see it's the same shops again. Look, soft drinks, burgers, hot drinks, umbrellas, and the vending machine. So quite a very simple build. Space for the staff to get in and out to the staff path behind here, and right in the very corner I've added another staff room for you. So that is the park. So if I zoom up a little bit so you can see, so right from the very back, shops, toilets, wild mouse, the Bumblebee that the scenario starts with. There's the entrance to the Bumblebee queue here. Add a little bit of floral here. G-lock, more shops, little path, gravitron, coaster, blue surge coaster. In this direction we've got the twisters and the jumper and the carousel. Off to the side here we have our super log flume, more toilets, the bobsled coaster, the drop tower, the super slide, more toilets, more shops, big wheel, and the entrance to the park. And that is my park for the scenario Honey Hills. Hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. From SoftKitty99, goodbye and happy gaming!